Hi, there are 9 basic characters I want to see for the super teens and then for the smart kids. So one of the character is curiosity. So I was talking about this idea called the one day your city tourist. And I asked the super teens from Indonesia, her name is Felicia Tan. I said, if you were to be a one day your city tourist to Singapore, where would you go to? So she suggested a place called the Art and Science Museum in Singapore. And it so happens that my translator from Vietnam here was in town. So we decided to go to this place. And you guess what? When we arrived there, that day it so happened that we have an exhibition. And the exhibition is called All Possible Paths. Richard Feynman's Curious Life. Now, curiosity is an important trait of a genius, and it is such a coincidence. So I really got the chance to spend about 75 minutes in that museum, in that hall, to really learn about Richard Feynman. So people like Thomas Edison, Leonardo da Vinci, Richard Feynman, they all have one important character, and that is curiosity. Especially Richard Feynman. He was known for his adventure which came from his curiosity. Now, the next question to ask is, what is curiosity? Curiosity is the desire to learn, to understand the things, and to know how they work. So as for parents, we need to continue to nurture this idea, these characters called curiosities in our children, because basically our children have that ideas of wanting to learn. I remember the time when all of us were young, we always asked the question, what is this, what is that? We asked a lot, what? And then after a certain stage, we ask the question, why, and why? But it comes to a point that when our mother would not be able to understand the question called why. So what would they say? They say, okay, go and ask your dad. But when we ask our father, they were so busy with the work that they say, okay, don't ask me why. When you grow up, you will know why. So many of the children, when they grow up, they really still do not know why. So I have a few suggestions here. I have written down about 5 suggestions on how we could actually continue to develop this idea called curiosity. The first one is to keep an open mind. Be coachable. It's just like when Felicia asked me, hey, you are in Singapore, what are some of the places you have not been to? So my mind was open to accept that, hey, let me be coachable. Let me have that open mind to explore places that I have not been to in that city. So that was the idea of one day your city tourist. And that's how that came about. Now, so we must be prepared to unlearn, learn, and relearn. So that's the first idea. So the second point I have written down is ask questions. Continue to ask questions. Allow our children to ask the question. What questions to ask? Always ask, what is that? Why? How? Ask questions that we would ask. Ask questions that people don't normally ask. Ask ourselves, what questions could I have asked but I have not asked? Ask questions that in most of the people's opinion that it would be embarrassing. But ask, it doesn't stop us from stop asking. And then that allows us a lot of new possibilities. Now, then the next thing is, a lot of the young people, a lot of our children like to say that, oh mom, that is boring. Things are not boring. The only one thing is that we look at it very superficially, then we say it's boring. But if you begin to explore, you go inside, then you will discover it's actually not boring. Now, so that leads us to the next thing. If it's not boring, we must ask questions. And when we ask questions, that leads us to the next point. Learning is fun. And so that is always a poster that I have for the super teens and the smart kid. And that is, learning is fun. Continue to learn what is new, what is the possibility out there. And so, to do that, we must allow ourselves not to focus on just on one topic, but to have a diverse reading. Read different materials, not only the science, but history, geography, and all the different things. And when we have ideas from all the different places, then we piece them together, we will have very interesting discovery. So, my question is, where have you been recently? What question have you asked?